Hi crafty friends, and welcome to another Pixie Dust Designs video tutorial. Today I am working with the Perfume box die as well as the Gingerbread paper pad that is new to the Pixie Dust Designs store. Alright, so I went ahead and die cut out those elements using some solid cardstock as well as those printed papers from the Gingerbread paper pad. Here I'm just showing you my stamped winter penguin images, and I'm grabbing my Spectrum Noir TriBlend markers, and we are going to color those images. I have a bunch of markers, but I do not use them all. I use most of them. So first, grabbing my lavender, I am going to color my penguin purple. I didn't want a regular black and white penguin, so I just grabbed my lavender and I am going to add those colors to the skin of the penguin. Next, I am grabbing my coral marker and I am going to use that to color the feet as well as the beak of the penguin. I find that working with these tri-blends is just so much easier for me, so I don't have to figure out what blends the best. I already have my 3 shades, my light, medium, and dark, and everything just comes together seamlessly. Now I'm taking the blue turquoise marker and I am going to color the hat. So yes, I love using my TriBlend markers for the ease of blending. I don't have to have the largest collection of markers because there are 3 tones in each one. Also, when you are using alcohol markers, ensure that you are stamping in an alcohol marker proof ink. I usually make sure that I just heat set whatever ink that I'm using. That also helps with ensuring that your ink doesn't bleed when you are coloring. Here I'm just adding the pale pink tones into this hat and scarf to give some contrast. I then just go in with my gray marker and I am going to add some shadowing around the places that are white, and then I use this earth tone brown marker to color the sandals on this cute little penguin. And I'm just going to fussy cut this out, and we are going to use this on our perfume bottle. As you watch me fussy cut, I do want to encourage you to head over to the Pixie Dust Designs shop and check out all of the holiday stamp sets and dies that we have. There are new promotions happening weekly with sales throughout this month, so be sure that you are grabbing those spotlight products at a discounted rate if you are interested. Also, be sure to head over to the Facebook group as well as like and follow Pixie Dust Designs on Instagram and Facebook. Alright, so now I am pretty much complete with fussy cutting out this penguin. Once I have done that, I am going to just go in with a white paint marker. Sometimes I use a paint marker, sometimes I use a jelly roll pen just to add some highlights to the image. I then grab my perfume box, the main body of the perfume box, and I am just going to crease all of those fold lines. I want to ensure that they are nice and creased before I start putting this box together. It definitely helps, so that is a tip. I'm then going to grab my double-sided adhesive. I am choosing to use that instead of wet glue just because I love how quickly and easily I'm able to assemble things. As you can see, the box pretty much puts itself together. You just have to make sure that everything is creased and then decide if you are going to add adhesive to the top or the bottom of the box. I chose to add adhesive to the top so that it can stay closed and whoever receives this can open it from the bottom. If you are choosing to use this perfume box as a favor, I would recommend that you use a heavier weight cardstock. This is 80-pound weight cardstock that I have in my stash, so I am sure that this will be sturdy enough and hold up to being open and closed, and also, you know, fold and hold up well over time. So you can see how easy it is to assemble the main portion of this perfume bottle. Now I am just grabbing the other elements of this box. I'm also sizing up my penguin and deciding how I want this little guy to sit on my box. Again, I did die cut out the additional pieces like the top of the bottle as well as the panels that cover the bottle using the pattern cardstock from the Gingerbread 6x6 paper pad. Just as with the main bottle of the perfume, I encourage you to go ahead and make sure that all of the crease lines on the next portion of the bottle are folded before you assemble. You see me just fiddling around and making sure that I know how this is going to close and trying to ensure that I know which side of this pattern paper I'm going to use for the perfume bottle. I chose to grab my adhesive tape runner to add some adhesive to the edges of this smaller portion of the bottle, which is kind of like the neck of the bottle. I wanted my piece to be put together and stay in place instead of having to hold as you would with a wet adhesive. At the end, I do go back and add wet adhesive when I am making sure that this piece stays in place on top of the body of the perfume bottle. But for just assembling, you see here, I am fussing around with the tape runner. All right, so once that is complete, I do move on to the top of the perfume bottle. And when assembling that, you will need to place the long strip over the exposed flaps, and that will give you more of a seamless look to that. With those complete, I'm just taking my time and figuring out if I want the impression, the little rectangle impression that you see there on the brown piece to be seen, or use that to line up the small box or the neck of the lid of that perfume bottle. So I decided I want that to be exposed, that rectangle. So now I'm just, again, taking my tape runner and lining up the pieces, and I'm just going to set them to the side. I did have to fiddle around a little bit with this to get it to look how I wanted. Again, I do go back with some wet glue and just make sure everything is secure on these two pieces. I also decided to make a small change, and instead of using the pattern paper for that small portion of the neck, I go in with some gold foil paper. I love all the sparkle and the dramatics. I did use some double-sided tape instead of my tape runner for this, just so the whole thing wasn't as sticky. And yeah, I'm just putting that together. So this is how it will look once those two pieces are together. I keep testing out how everything looks before I make my final assembly. I love how everything looks and is coming together. So now we are going to move on to those panels that you can die cut out. I used the double-sided page that has the blue plaid on there. I think that was such a nice element to go along with the colors on the penguin. I'm using my tape runner to add adhesive to the main panel, and then some mini foam dots to pop up my penguin. I also used that same tape runner to add on the two side panels. I love that the dies for these panels have that faux stitching look on them. That is one of my absolute favorite touches of this little die set. Again, I will have to go back with wet glue to make sure that the lid of my perfume box stays intact, but that is just how it's looking with the double-sided tape in place. And here is what my completed perfume box is looking like. I did go in with some trim and just tie that around the neck of the bottle. I also added this felt snowflake sticker that I had behind the penguin just to give a little bit more interest. But yeah, guys, this is how you assemble that perfume bottle. It is a little tedious with the neck and the top, but I promise you it is worth it. This is the cutest little favor that you can give over the holidays. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching the Pixie Dust Designs tutorial by Natasha of Polite Creations. Have a great day and be sure to check us out on all social media.